through whatever means he can garner.
Right.
That's
Right.
good
So,
stuff. Tell
I'm giving the people this opportunity to make their own mind up. I'm not gonna tell them what to do. They're gonna make their own mind up. All I know is we need these elders because we got too many babies just falling for nothing.
I'm saying you got a whole crew and nobody got no question for Adrian Patrick.
Yo,
Adrian. Adrian, brother, we appreciate you. Thunder clap, let's go.
I think it may take more than the first couple conversations. People are slow because they've had so many years of kind of being fooled by people saying they're not doing anything. Simply, I think that's happening. So they'll be a little slower to this and just open up their pocket. Now, particularly since the market's kind of rough right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it just may take more than one conversation, and I'm okay with that. That's whatever it is, man.
Yeah, and then you've been having other people that been raising money under the false pretenses of getting a lawyer. They never hired a lawyer. You know, all of those things make it hard for his family to do what's necessary, what they feel is right to help him, because you got all these people running around pretending they're going to get this lawyer, that lawyer, and this lawyer that made these promises, all that, and then nothing happens. You know, so we've seen it so many times that we leery of the fundraising.
They're not asking a question. My sister's in there talking about people keep asking questions, but I don't see no questions.
All I see is a lot of statements. I don't see all the questions I've seen, I've asked them already.
All right, so answer what question I asked me.
Hey, another win. Next platform, because nobody got no questions. Show some support. We need the finances to get Adrian to start, and y'all gonna see results. We're gonna deal with results in the matrix.
Someone answering in the first time said drop out, so you got no support, right?
Yeah.
At some point when it's no other options, they not going for support now. So most times after things like this take a minute for people to digest what's happening.
Yeah, because this is really bigger than we even know right now.
60 grand to start. Yes, we're not bullshitting. Ask me any lawyer ever do something for free. It's 60 grand. For a big case like my dad's case, it's 60 grand. Yes, to start.
Well, I appreciate you allowing the opportunity. I imagine this won't be the only time we have to talk. And I'm going to do more of these. I think one of your questions earlier.
Okay, so
I do appreciate you. Right.
I do got a couple questions that just popped up. I can't see the whole chat. I only could see like one or two. Then it'll skip. Then I'll see one or two. It say Thailand Slaughter say, will exclusive equity help with his case?
Exclusive equity. I don't know what exclusive equity is. What's that?
I'm not sure what they're talking about either. That's why I asked you.
No. What was the question?
With specific, we're going to go back up to it. Will exclusive equity help with freeing them better? What's the exact question?
I don't know. It's like I can answer the question.
How we freeing them better? Hold on. With exclusive access, how do we free them better?
Equity is a different branch of law than criminal law. So I didn't understand why they asked, but they said that because some of the questions they was irrelevant to what we was talking about. That's why some of them I didn't ask, but the ones that I seen, it says what's actually needed systematically to free them.
Let's start with 60K financial. That's what's needed. 60K. That's what needed.
Brian Hill asks, what's the statute being used?
I'm not lying to you. I'm talking to y'all straight up. I'm not playing.
Okay, Ishmael, Ishmael, let me go through the questions that I'm seeing while I see them. why we got him on here, because I'm not going to be doing this on no regular basis. This is a favor I'm doing for you.
I
It
know.
say,
I
what's the
appreciate it
statute?
because you don't even deal with fiat. But you know, let's go.
Let me ask the few questions I see at this point. It say, what's the statute being used to keep them locked up?
What
I think
statute
that's in reference to the sheer volume of time that they gave them. That would be RICO, wouldn't it?
No. RICO don't even have 135 years. RICO is not even that big of a charge. RICO start at 20. Am I right? Am I right, Adrian?
You still there, Adrian?
I'm here. Yeah. See, yes, the issue is RICO, and they ran things consecutive. You know, and since the consecutive and enhancements and stuff like that, because it was federal, you have enhancements, leader organization and things like that, and that had a lot of enhancements and things to it. So, yeah, they got the 100 and something, yeah. Yes.
Somebody,
for sure, but yeah,
somebody else asked, can you do a Q
Hold
warrant on the judge?
Hold on. Before you do that, you the good. You do the Cash App is HUWA, HUWAA, $ HUWAA, so we can hire the lawyer to finish this. Y'all, let's not even talk about it mistaken.
What other questions?
Okay, so the other question was, can he do a Q warrant on the judge?
Q warrant, I don't know what is that.
Okay, so
that's what I don't know what that is. Tell me that. What are you talking about? Ask them what is that.
they listening there. If they hear, they'll explain, and I'll answer after that.
You know he was over sentenced. Yes, they was. You're right, Shane. They over sentenced my father. You're absolutely right. But he shouldn't have been sentenced in the first place because he was innocent.
Yeah, it was. We already know that's a whole COINTELPRO operation behind that. It say, what about deprivation of rights under color of law?
Deprivation of rights.
No. We're not answering questions, dumb ass question like that. Sound like somebody just wants you to know that they know.
Ishmael. Just
dumb
they want
man.
You told them to ask the questions, and I'm asking the questions.
Let me answer that.
It's Ibrahim. I'm not
Deprivation of rights. I guess that's from a broad question. They had a trial. What did it really mean? That's really more specific with that question. That's a very broad question.
Okay. So
yeah, he had a right to a jury trial. He did that. So what are they saying specifically though?
Warrant is a specific form of legal actions used to resolve a dispute over whether a specific person has a legal right to hold the public office that he or she occupies.
What's that question?
That was a Q warranto. Q warranto is a special form of legal action used to resolve a dispute over whether a specific person has legal right to hold public office that he or she occupies.
I don't think that applies to this situation.
That ain't got nothing to do with the case.
No, that's more of a civil kind of action against the judge. I guess it wouldn't apply in this case. It'd be non-applicable. It'd be a waste of time. It'd be a waste of time doing that.
That has nothing to do with the case. I swear.
I seen it.
It just sound good. It sound good. I'll be honest with you. We're not playing that game. Uniform Commercial Code. We're not playing that game. I know where you're going from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not doing that. It sounds good. To people that don't know the law. The law only stays in the books. Listen to me. The law stays in their own books. As soon as they go outside of the books, this is when you're going to sue them. So they're not trying to break the law. They're not going outside of their own jurisdiction. don't ask an attorney to try to go outside and recognize something that's outside of his jurisdiction is not working. Can we be smart? And they don't care about you and your idea of the law. Can we be realistic? Can we be realistic?
They only
Look
care
at
about
Saddam Hussein. What happened to him? He was a sovereign. He was a. They took his whole shit. Then they split his wig and hung him in front of you to say that we don't care. So stop playing that game. And all the Native Americans have already signed contracts. So they got put in places that we call, they're supposed to be reserved, and we call it reservation later. So we're not playing that game. And all the Moors have became slave. Stop playing.
Hey, look, but all of the tribes didn't sign treaties, but that's a whole nother discussion. That's not based on. Right now,
we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Right
what
now,
we're saying is getting my father out through reality, through the system that took him, because we're not going to run away. We're not going to run away. Let's talk about this. We're talking about this right now. We got the lawyer here, and the lawyer is saying, ask me any questions. The lawyer is saying, ask me any questions. That means that him and me, his son, is saying, we are going to be transparent. Can you support us so we can get that out? He's saying, this is a real strong possibility. We're going to free the master teacher. He's also saying that if he could get up in there, he will even talk to Larry Hoover. But we're doing this.
I don't live yet, but I'll be willing to.
Okay, now
listen.
This is some real I think this more directed to you, Ishmael. It say, is there a reason this lawyer?
Ibrahim, I'm not Ish.
I mean, excuse me, Ibrahim. Is there a reason this lawyer was picked to represent Baba? I think that might be the best question of the night. But I think you answered it. I think you answered it earlier, but I'm
from the initial, from the beginning, or
he's the one that ain't gonna lie. He's
from now.
Well, yeah, I answer. You answer, Ibrahim.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and answer. Go ahead. It's up to you to answer.
I did the jury trial.
So
I know more about the case than anybody else.
So basically, he's the legal expert on the case, right? You the legal expert.
I did the jury trial, yes.
Okay.
I was the legal attorney for that.
Okay. I don't want to hold up too much of your time, but I wanted to get some exposure to what y'all was working on. Well,
I appreciate that, man.
And I'm gonna share this to my page, and people be able to go back and review it. And they'll know that
they need to show some support, so we can get this shit going. So you know we're not lying. Let's make it move, because there's something going on between. Let me tell y'all something. You know what they did for Trump, Donald Trump? They switched it around just so he can get out. He can get away with certain things, and that opened up another door. That's just one of the places that we're moving. We're gonna go hard. If y'all really want the master teacher out and everything, let's do this. Let's make this happen. Let's not even play. Support this lawyer. I tell you why my father picked him. Because he know that Adrian ain't gonna play, and he's black. And it's not just black. It's just we ain't gonna finish. We're not playing. We gonna get him out.
Well, you know, my thing is, I did my due diligence to show support to you fighting for your father in the way that you know how to fight, and to bring the attorney, which we appreciate him coming on here, taking the time out, because you know that these calls are normally not free.
You understand what I'm saying? He don't have to show up like this is not free, and he's showing up saying anybody can ask a question, and nobody in the community can ask questions.
But none of them go ask him questions according to his field of law. They don't know that the law is broke up into different fields of law. You got contract law, you got civil law, you got criminal law, you got corporate law, and he's dealing with a criminal.
You know what we're talking about. We're talking about criminal defense.
Right. So I had to address him from the criminal lawyer's
Defense.
perspective, I can't
Defense.
dress him like he's working for in commercial law, or if he's working in,
We're
I have
not
to.
talking about none of
I
that,
know.
though. Listen, hey,
That's
hey,
why. That's
brother,
what I'm. This is
we're
what I'm
not
explaining
talking
now.
about that. We're talking about my father being locked up, and we're talking about getting him out. And it literally, he is a. They labeled him as a criminal, and we're talking about a thunderclapper that's going to go in and shake the world. Let's work with that. We're not talking about contractual law. Everything deal with contract. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about anything else you're talking about, but all of that is in retrospect. But we're talking about criminal. Criminal. This is
Listen.
what we're dealing with.
Right. So when I'm explaining, when people ask me why I'm not asking questions about contract law, or why I'm not asking questions about corporate law, it's those things are not his. He's a criminal, a defense attorney. So I got to ask him the questions that I would ask the criminal defense attorney that I would be sending in to get my father, as if I don't know none of the stuff I know already.
The right question. Nobody asked the question.
That's what.
So
That's my point. That's my point. That's my point. So the questions I'm asking them, I was trying to stay in his area of law, which is criminal law, right? Uma asks, what about conspiracy?
Man,
What
conspiracy is just conspiracy is a made up story in your own head. We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with facts. We're dealing with black and white. It's on paper.
No,
we're dealing with saving my father. Listen. We can be conspiratorial, right? We can make up shit in our head. That's what conspiracy means. Making shit in your head. But what's on black and white, what the law deal with is that this person has done this on this date, on this time, and we are going to lock you up. You understand?
Abraham didn't address that question, though. He didn't address that question. You know, conspiracy and he's trying to take his actions conspiring to put Dr. York in jail. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So all of the ones that conspired together to fabricate the case.
No, one of the issues that I had in the trial. Conspiracy is further that's one of the things, subtle theories I had in my trial. And that's why one of the jurors came back after the trial and thought that she hung the jury up for a while, saying that she thought he was set up. So the jury was hung initially for a while.
I remember.
And so that answer to address that conspiracy thing. So I think it has some teeth to it. But the way that the jury was, though, she got outnumbered. And tried to actually take her off the jury.
Adrian, enough. You came, you asked questions for the nation. They didn't have no answers. Just show some support.
Right.
That's the issue with conspiracy. Is that what you were saying? Like conspiracy?
Yeah, what you answered the question, because you said that was one of your original premises of the case.
Right.
So we know that the attorney already had a suspicion to follow the lead that would take him down a conspiracy trail. That's a brave attorney in and of itself.
I would argue that. So, and we almost got hung on that part too.
Mm-hmm.
One of the jurors was convinced that he could have been set up. So,
some of the stuff about the case, I'm not asking because it goes into attorney-client privilege, and he can't address. So it's certain stuff that people asking now that I'm seeing in the chat that I can't ask because I can't do it because he can't violate attorney.
Ask it, and then we'll tell you we're not at liberty to say. Ask.
Okay, so Baba was going to his own private doctor since the 70s and never had STD. And in the case, they came up with a paper saying he had an STD. And since he's been in prison, the STD doesn't exist. And this was supposed to be a genetically traceable strain of herpes.
It's actually kind of privilege. I can't answer that question. That's correct.
I know. That's why I didn't ask. I'm not an attorney, but I know how to. I know how to do that.
Keep going. What's the next question? We already know the answer to that, and they lied. But go ahead.
Okay, this is a really good question. When someone has been locked up as long as he has, can they do a sentence reduction motion?
What? Say that again.
Is good question, but not really. You can do how would it call? There's some motions you can file, but not a reduction motion. Like when we got proper, you can file some things, but not a reduction motion at a point, unless without the new trial motion, if I get no grounds or something, I can then cancel it indirectly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing I'll do indirectly once I get my motion, if that's accepted, then maybe that's when I turn back. So I think you're gonna be more indirect.
Yeah, and that would fall under the cruel and unusual punishment side of sentencing, right?
Yeah, that would be, we got no traction on what I'm trying to get with a new trial. That would be one option that would be looking at. If I have to show up an argument, but the front arguments I have when I try to attack this state case and things like that, other issue don't bring up strong enough that I can then that's what as an alternative resolution to reduction sentence.
Okay. Well, I know your time valuable, and we held you in here longer than we probably intended to, or you probably wanted to be here. But this was an important issue for the people of the land, because we've been fighting this fight too long not to have a result, and he not the only one in a similarly situated condition, right? So we had to bring this out to garner the support for those who believe in the system. I don't personally, but for the ones who believe in the system and then believe that they can make it work, we still have to present them with the opportunity to fight this fight the way they know how. Right. So we appreciate you taking your time to come over here and talk to us and get the message out and to support Dr. Malachi and his family.
Thank you for taking the time, making a space for me to talk. So let me know anything you need to talk to me again. I'll be happy to talk. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for the help too.
All right. Appreciate it.
But how we show support? How we gonna pay this guy? Let's do this. Let's make it happen. You hear me, right? Gorilla?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the attorney gone. So a lot of where people was talking about that I didn't ask about was about because we already know this particular attorney is not fluent in tribal law, because we already discussed that, me and you, right? So I can't take him down the path of tribal law. That's not his area. I can't take him to corporate law. That's not his area. I can't take him to all of those other areas. I had to stick to the area that he's familiar with, which is criminal law and the defense of criminal law. And from what he told us earlier in the call, somebody kept asking about his win-loss record. He said he only lost a couple of cases in 30-some years.
Cases out of like hundreds of cases.
Right. So, he's been working 30-some years. But I had to try to now,
3 losses.
Right. And we know
one of the losses he had was the case with my dad.
Right. So what's happening now is I understand your frustration, man. If my pops was locked up for 22 years, I think I'd have did it something by now to figure out another way, but I'm not going to put that on public record. But that's between me and you. I know how. That's letting you know that I understand your feeling and your sentiment. And because a lot of people that might be watching might think that you're going too hard. I don't personally think that, but a lot of people, they want to hear Rod Hayes talk with it.
They didn't stop it. Think I'm going hard.
Supposed to. Right. So what we doing is different from what the attorney doing. What I'm doing is different from what the attorney doing, right? If I had to send an attorney in, I would be sending them in like the messenger that Xerxes sent to Leonidas to offer him air and water if he lucky, right? So that's the kind of lawyer that I would be sending in there. But because you asked me, you know, to show the support for your father by letting him know what you doing. This is the fruits of your labor. And we got two different methods of fighting this conflict. And yours is what you know, and mine is what I know. And I can't try to force how I'm fighting into your field of view because you got to fight it your way. And I can't interfere with that, but I can show support by letting people make their own mind up to support.
I got that. And you got to understand. Let's eat. Let's not even play the game. Let's get dad home. I'm not playing that shit. I brought him on your platform. We've been transparent. What lawyer ever came there and say, answer questions, and nigga was scared to ask questions?
Man, I ain't never seen no shit like that.
That
lawyers, they normally answer the questions in their office, but they won't answer questions outside their office. Even in the courtroom, they don't want to answer you.
And niggas was scared to ask questions.
No, they wasn't. They wasn't scared.
I'm disappointed in my people.
They didn't.
I thought black folks was gonna swing. They scared to swing. Let's be honest.
Ishmael, look, it ain't that they were scared to ask. Ibrahim. My bad, I keep getting y'all mixed up, bro. But look, it ain't that they wasn't asking questions, but they was asking questions that was outside of his scope of knowledge in the law. I'm trying to stick to what he can do according to what he know, just to get the message out that there's an attorney willing to take the case, that's familiar with the case. And for the ones that believe in the system, y'all can support Ishmael in getting this.
No, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, my bad. Y'all can support Ibrahim in getting this money together to fight the case the way he know how. But my approach is just different, right? And one of the ways, whether it's your way or my way, one of them finna work. That's what I'm gonna tell you. One of them finna work. And we gonna see.
Maybe all of them finna work.
They all might work, but I had to give you the opportunity to use my platform for anything you try and do to free your father. Even if it's something that I don't agree with or don't participate in, as your brother, I have to bring you out into the public and let you speak your piece. And you had me ask the attorney some key questions. And I was just trying to get a gauge for the fighting the dog.
You could have went harder. You could have went harder.
I was just trying to get a gauge for the fighting the dog, but I'm seeing, you know, where he at with it, because for him to even consider conspiracy in the early stages of the case, that's something that attorneys normally don't do.
We see that, right?
Yeah, they normally duck conspiracy at all costs because it's too easy to prove. It's too easy to. Once you prove that conspiracy, you didn't single-handedly dismantle their system, and this is why the attorneys don't want to bring conspiracy. And he addressed the conspiracy as an operational part of the defense out the beginning, and brought up the hung juror that I was well aware of that was resistant because she thought that it was a setup.
Good shit. Nice one. That's real. You know that. You saw that, right? You picked that shit up. Good stuff. That's all I gotta say. That's good stuff, Rod. You're a smart brother. Not little, but brother. You're smart.
I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to get that. My mama kept telling me that shit. I don't see it, but she did. So
no, but that's some real shit. Yo, you caught that. Like, come on, man. We can't let that shit slide. We can't let them keep on beating us up. No way. But I appreciate what you did. I appreciate the opportunity, Rod. I appreciate it. I appreciate the platform. You know what? You're my brother forever. And
for sure. I tell you what.
Gorilla. Let's go. That's that
and
real.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Shit on us. Let's go. All right.
So look, I'm gonna let you roll out, man. I appreciate you coming over and keeping up the fight for your pops. I ain't gonna stop fighting until I see victory. So I don't have to like it though. You gotta remember that part. People don't be remembering me telling them if I do something, I don't have to like it. I don't have to like attorneys to present that this is the way that you fighting for your father. I don't have to like it, but I have to
Doesn't matter.
show
Doesn't
my
matter. I
due
already saw what
diligence
you
and the
did.
support.
I already saw what you did. That was enough. Understand that nobody did shit like that. And my father is innocent. And I'm gonna be here. And I appreciate you. You
For sure.
understand, King?
We gonna break bread. We gonna break
Gorilla,
bread.
gorilla.
Well, we gonna break bread with my chief and your pops. We gonna
Let's
break
go.
bread.
Let's go. Let's go
It's
to the
coming.
world blow. To the world blow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And don't forget, the fat lady sung at the end of the Olympics, and she said she did it her way.
Let's
Okay.
go.
And
And I
that's
appreciate
the
everybody.
and I was telling them, look for the fat lady to sing at a public spectacle, because that means that it's over. And this shit about to be over. But you gotta fight your fight. You have to do your due diligence. I don't have to agree with you to support the fact that you fighting. It's when the people ain't fighting and they bitching and complaining and they ain't doing nothing that I don't want to help them.
That's strange to us. So we're not dealing with bitches. Like, I'm just saying, I'm in the war. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you. You didn't have to do it, but you did, didn't you?
I did it because it's for your pops. It's for a worthy cause. The righteous, should no longer suffer for the indignations of the wicked.
Let's do
And
this, brother.
and so we have to do our part. We don't have to always agree with everything. That's when we had that long conversation about two strategists with two different strategies. This is how you keep from colliding on the battlefield from two different angles. Y'all work together, even
Yeah,
though
I
y'all
can
don't agree.
come next week. Let's do this next week.
Yep.
I'll
Just
bring
hit me up
more.
whenever you're ready. Just hit me up. We come back on and we put it out there for the people to be able to make their own minds up. And
Yeah,
in the tribal
exactly.
tradition, didn't want to say this in front of him because I didn't want to spook him off. But in the tribal tradition, we put stuff in front of the people for the collective to give us the energetic support that's stronger than the physical.
I got to go ahead to take over from my father. And y'all heard that shit. Y'all want
It's,
some more? I'm
it's,
about to post some more.
yeah. Tag me in and I
Damn.
share it.
Expeditiously. But I appreciate you. Understand?
It's all same here,
I appreciate
brother.
you. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Oh, well, there you go. He dropped out. Okay. So, is it anybody in here that got something that they want to discuss before we go? So, a lot of people probably not really understanding that I don't like attorneys. I don't trust them, and I don't do fundraisers because people been raising money and these people misery. But when the brother reached out and then his pops is talking to this guy on the phone, even if I don't agree, right? Even if I don't like attorneys, even if I don't do fundraisers, the brother is fighting for his father the way he know how. I have to present his case to the public and let the people decide if he following the path that he feel is going to be most functional in getting his father out, right? So I'm just showing the support and exposing to the public that this fight is serious. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is not a dance contest. We really, 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 literally been fighting a war for 500 years since Columbus sailed his stinking ass over here, parked on Hispaniola, and renamed it to Hispaniola from the name that the people of the land. And then they just started naming our shit and taking. They even named us. A lot of these tribes, y'all hearing these tribal names, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, those are exonyms. Those was the names the settlers gave to the people that they couldn't pronounce the name that the people gave them. So I still had to present the case. I still had to let the public make their own mind up. And I still got to let everybody be their own judge of what they see taking place in front of them. I know we in continuity of government process, reconstruction phase, the final phase of continuity of government, transfer power from DC, which is now defunct. You can go on to the White House page, and at the top of the page, it's going to tell you that this is a page frozen in time for historical record, and it will not be updated no more. The only way they won't update a presidential executive order page is if they no longer have a president to issue executive orders. All of this stuff is to keep us, those nappy hair, red skin, Mississippi walking clay dirt mofos, from taking back what's rightfully ours by the blood and by the right. I'm gonna see if I can find the Cash App he gave, and I'm gonna pin it. Can you put the Cash App in there so I can pin it? Cause it's too far up. Well, lawyers rarely do pro bono work. The only case that I can remember where there was somebody similarly situated to Malachi, an attorney continued to fight the case pro bono for 20-some years, was GINDJAB, Geronimo Pratt, out in California, where the police did the same thing to him that they did to Tookie with the trumped up case, where the police committed the crime and accused him of it, and then it came out, but it took Johnny Cochran like 27 years to get Geronimo Pratt out, right? Other than that, I don't know no other attorney that I can personally tell you took a case of that magnitude pro bono. I don't know one, right? And it is a lot of filing fees in the courts. It is a whole lot of that BS. Anything to get money from you. Here we go. Patrick put it in there. Okay. So this is you see the sticker I just put up there is the Cash App, right? Yeah. So there they did. So people say, well, Johnny Cochran died from a brain tumor. The FBI records say that they use what's called a radiation gun. It's the same way they killed Dr. Hulda Clark, by constantly bombarding a lady with radiation, and she can't cleanse fast enough to get rid of the radiation. They do that. They got a million ways to kill us. They only got one way to let us live, and that's under their oppression. We tired of that. That's okay, I got it. I got it pinned up there for the ones who want to support, But we tired of them kicking us at every turn. We don't have rights. This is what they keep reading you your rights. That had nothing to do with you. The only way that the Miranda versus Arizona was the case that your rights being read to you became part of the SOP, standard operating procedure of law enforcement, right? But if you go back and you study the law from colonial times and now, the indigenous, organic, original Mississippi clay dirt walking tribes that was on the land, they said we had no rights that they was bound to respect. That's the Dred Scott case, right? They classified us as 3/5 compromise until we become 5/5 realized. I'm 5/5 and a motherfucker. I know who I am. So at this point, we are at the position where everybody got to feel like they fighting. If you don't feel like you fighting in a fight, you feel like you getting your ass kicked. if you supporting somebody, you don't have to agree with their strategies. You don't have to agree with their method. You only have to agree that y'all looking for the same outcome. Yeah, I had to talk to Brother Rich first before I volunteered for something. But anybody that want to bring that attorney on to talk to him about garnering support for Malachi, you can either reach out to me or Uma or one of her brothers. She got a whole bunch of them. They can get you in touch with them, or I can try to get you in touch with them so that we can do whatever is necessary. But my belief and my position is America is done. And the only thing left is the tribes. That's how I feel. America, the corporation, is done. The only thing left is for the tribes to reconstitute our own government. Once we do that, we have jurisdictional supremacy to order it with the full support of the U.S. military's backing to go in there and get them if the corporation don't want to surrender them, right? That's where I'm at with it, right? But they got all of this stuff going on, transitional government, the draining of the D.C. swamp, all that stuff is going on. But we all got to fight how we see we can fight. We don't have to agree on everything, but we have to try to put up a different front according to our skill set, knowledge level, right? So that's where we at with it. And some of the best attorneys are not good orators, but they good legal writers. This is what people don't be understanding about going into their court system. It's not always what the attorneys say. It's in the motions and the briefs that he filed to support his claim of why he's asking for a dismissal or a reduction or a removing of this charge or that charge. And as long as you got motions in the court, that means your case is in motion. But when there is no motions in the court, your case is at a standstill. You parked in prison now. And this is the problem where we keep facing. We keep looking for these people to give us some relief. They don't intend to give us no relief. They don't tend to give us no support. All they intend to do is suck us dry, and we tired of it, right? So from there, we just have to let the chips fall where they may, right? So um, I don't have anything else to add, but it is what it is. I did my due diligence. I brought them in. I asked a few questions. I read some questions out the comments. A lot of questions I didn't ask because these attorneys, half of them only know a piece of law. That's what y'all don't understand. He only know criminal law. So if I went to going to him about the jurisdictional defect of the sui juris de jure party, he don't know what I'm talking about. He probably heard the terminologies, but he don't know what I'm talking about because he only concerned with which criminal law is he charged with and what's the defense for that charge. He not looking for the overall exit strategy. Like if I was an attorney, I'd be looking for anything I can to get my client off. I don't give a damn. If one of them judges did something, I'm gonna hold his ass to the fire. They don't operate like that. Yeah, Cochran built a team off the Geronimo Pratt case. He did have a team. He had a whole firm. They built that law firm that stemmed out of the Geronimo Pratt case. That's what made that law firm what it was. And he never stopped fighting for Geronimo Pratt until he got him home. And he did it. But that's rare. Like Johnny Cochran was like 1 in 100 million. They got a whole lot of criminal charges on them, but the biggest one is the Mann Act, the RICO Act, and some other stuff that's not related to the underlying charge that they was charging them with criminal sexual conduct. on a minor, which, you know, all that stuff, they find out later that all of them girls was sleeping with his son, the same son that trumped up the case. I don't talk about Malachi children, even the ones that was instrumental in him being where he at, because it's difficult to advocate for him and then go at his kids' heads, even the guilty ones that set him up. I can't do that. I just got to keep telling y'all, look, y'all, if there's more to the case than y'all can, most people can't see the conspiracy involved, the COINTELPRO operations involved. They can't see the fabricated cases. They can't see the scripts that they was matching up statements with. All that stuff is part of investigation that normally is sifted out by the law enforcement, but law enforcement was in on it, right? Sheriff Seals had a little doll of Malachi hanging from a noose in his office. That right there should have told you there was something wrong with the case, you know? So uh, I just wanted y'all to see what was going on from the young man perspective, from the attorney perspective. And if it would have been up to me, I'd have dug in his ass. But when I got to talking to him, I understood all he knows is criminal law. He don't know none of the other parts of law. He don't know nothing about radical jurisdictional defect, Article 3 courts. If the judge isn't Article 3 certified, then they are operating under the Chevron deference. That attorney, that stuff right there, that's not his area. And bringing it up is like bringing up toe surgery to a brain surgeon. He understands toe surgery, but he don't know it like a toe surgeon, a foot surgeon, a specialist. And this guy was a specialist in criminal law. All that other stuff would have been like basically beating a dead horse, because he'd have been like, what? Right? So I don't have the time to sit here and educate him on the part of the law that he didn't get educated in. I'm just trying to determine if, whatever the situation is, you're going to fight. If you ain't going to fight, then, go sit your ass down. But he sounded like he want to fight. He want to smoke. I don't know if by the time he get to 60K, shit, Pops might be sitting at his table talking about, man, I appreciate you getting ready to take my case. This shit's coming to an end, and it's coming to an end fast. Babylon is done. Right? So, um, I can't think of nothing else I need to add. So I'm gonna let y'all go and share the